Consuming 25% or more of your daily calories from added sugar triples your risk of dying from heart disease. This risk exists regardless of your weight. It exists regardless of your cholesterol levels. You might feel the damage right now. It is that 2 p.m. energy crash where your brain feels like it is sinking into a thick, gray fog. Your eyelids grow heavy. Your thoughts sludge. You reach for caffeine to clear the haze, but the problem is not exhaustion. It is a chemical reaction occurring inside your blood vessels at this very moment. Dr. Megan Foster has spent 24 years as a cardiovascular surgeon. She has held hundreds of failing human hearts in her palms. She has felt the difference between a healthy, elastic organ and one that has been ruined by modern nutrition. She describes the texture of a diseased heart as brittle. Gritty. It feels like it has been dipped in wax. Everything you have been told about heart health is a dangerous half-truth. It is not just about fat. It is about a biological Trojan horse sitting in your pantry right now. One specific item labeled as heart healthy contains more sugar than a glazed donut. We will identify that specific industrial poison shortly. You must understand the story of Robert. He was 58 years old with triglycerides over 400. His doctors were preparing him for the operating table. He escaped that fate in 90 days without a single new prescription. He used a grocery list as his primary medical intervention. I will show you his exact protocol and how he lowered his markers by 300 points before the end of this briefing. But first, you must see what Dr. Foster sees under the microscope. Sugar is sharp. At a microscopic level, glucose molecules act like liquid sandpaper. They circulate through your system, scouring the smooth Teflon lining of your arteries. This lining is the endothelium. It is only 1 cell thick. It is the most important organ you have never heard of. When it is healthy, your blood slides through like oil on silk. But when you flood your system with sugar, you are dragging steel wool across a non-stick pan. You scratch the coating. You create friction. The sugar does not just sit in your blood. It undergoes a chemical transformation that turns your life force into something resembling crème brûlée. Stop. Look at your hands. If you feel a slight puffiness in your knuckles or a tightness in your rings, you are already seeing the fluid retention of glycation. Your body is trying to dilute the grit. The scientific name for this process is glycation. It creates Advanced Glycation End Products. The acronym is appropriate, AGES. These molecules bond to the proteins in your artery walls. They cross-link. They harden. Your flexible, pulsing blood vessels begin to take on the elasticity of a ceramic pipe. This is the caramelization of the human body. Standard medicine focuses on cholesterol because it is easy to measure. They see the plaque and they blame the fat. But cholesterol is merely the bandage. Glycation is the wound. Imagine a high-performance engine. If you pour sticky resin into the fuel lines, the pump must work harder to move the sludge. The pressure rises. The engine overheats. This is why statins often fail to prevent the second heart attack. They are treating the smoke while the fire is still smoldering in the fuel line. A single bowl of healthy bran flakes has more sugar than 3 chocolate chip cookies. Every time you eat it, you are pouring more resin into the engine. The endothelium becomes Velcro. The scoured surface becomes sticky. Now, even good cholesterol gets trapped in the jagged grooves. It oxidizes. It turns into a hard, calcified crust. This is not aging. This is internal rust. Dr. Foster saw this pattern in 5,000 patients before she realized the healthy breakfast was the primary delivery mechanism for the grit. Standard medicine tries to thin the blood to help it pass through the grit. But what if we just stop the grit at the source? Here is Dr. Foster's Diamond Protocol. It begins by identifying the Trojan horse. The heart-healthy staple killing your progress is commercial whole-grain bread and low-fat yogurt. Manufacturers strip the fat to meet old guidelines and replace it with massive amounts of added sugar to maintain flavor. 2 slices of healthy brown bread often contain 10 grams of sugar. A single cup of low-fat yogurt can contain 25 grams. That is your entire daily limit before you have even left the house. You are starting your day by sanding down your arteries. The zero-sugar breakfast protocol is the foundation. The rule is absolute: the first 4 hours of your day must contain 0 grams of added sugar. No juice. No sweetened coffee. No healthy cereal. You must implement the fat shield. This is the surgeon's omelet. 3 eggs and 1/2 of an avocado. The healthy fats and proteins stabilize your insulin. They prevent the sandpaper glucose from entering the bloodstream during your body's most sensitive window. You are coating the engine in lubricant before you start the ignition. Type repair in the comments right now if you are ready to see the 30-day schedule. Your commitment to the protocol starts with the acknowledgement of the damage. Robert used this foundation to achieve his 90-day transformation. But he added 3 secondary weapons to accelerate the repair of his Teflon lining. The first is the vinegar primer. 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water before your largest meal. The acetic acid acts as a metabolic buffer. It blunts the glucose response of the following meal by 30%. It is a biological solvent that helps clear the lines. The second weapon is vascular lubricants. You must consume fatty fish like sardines or mackerel 3 times per week. If those are unavailable, use high-quality omega-3 supplements. These essential fats reduce the stickiness of the artery walls. They help the endothelium regrow its protective coating. Think of it as a fresh layer of Teflon for your internal pipes. The third weapon is the elimination of the liver grenade, fruit juice. Even if it is 100% natural, it lacks fiber. The fructose hits the liver instantly. The liver has no choice but to convert that surge into triglycerides. Those triglycerides are the primary building blocks of the sludge in your fuel lines. Robert cut all liquid sugar and saw his triglycerides drop by 70% in the first month. 1 death occurs every 33 seconds from cardiovascular failure in this country. By the time you finish this sentence, someone is gone. They were likely eating heart-healthy oatmeal with honey this morning. They didn't know they were fueling the fire. You now have the tools. You have the zero-sugar breakfast. You have the fat shield. You have the vinegar primer. But how long until you actually feel the fog lift? The timeline is faster than you think. The human body is a self-repairing masterpiece. You just need to stop throwing sand in the gears. The endothelial cells that line your arteries have a lifespan of only a few days. They want to regenerate. They want to be smooth. Imagine waking up in 7 days. You do not reach for the coffee because the morning clarity is already there. It is sharp. It is cold, like a mountain stream. The heavy fog that used to settle behind your eyes at 2 p.m. is gone. You realize that aging was just a series of chemical insults you were paying for at the grocery store. Exactly 720 hours from now, 30 days, your vascular system begins to breathe again. Your blood pressure markers typically begin to shift because the pipes are regaining their elasticity. They are no longer ceramic, they are living tissue. You do not have to be one of the 600,000. You have identified the grit. You have seen the sandpaper. You have the protocol of a surgeon who has held the damage in her hands and decided there was a better way. Your arteries are listening to every choice you make. Your health is not a matter of luck, it is a matter of internal maintenance. In the next protocol, we dismantle the one breakfast food that reverses everything you just learned. It sits in 90% of kitchens and is marketed as the ultimate longevity fuel. It is a lie. We will expose it tomorrow.